Hey guys, today we're doing something truly special. We are breaking down the full story behind the 5 Digital Deluxe suits in Marvel's Wolverine. We have legendary classic suits pulled straight from iconic comic storylines, alongside brand new original suits created exclusively for this game by legendary Marvel artists. Today, we're exploring the lore, the hidden details, and the background behind every single one of them. Let's jump straight into suit number 1. Let's start right at the very beginning with the incredible suit. To understand this outfit, you have to go all the way back to October 1974 in The Incredible Hulk, number 180 and number 181, written by Len Wein, penciled by Herb Trimpe, and designed by the legendary John Romita Sr. In this story, Logan isn't an X-Man at all. He's a Black Ops operative for the Canadian government's Department H, sent into the Quebec forest to take down 2 absolute monsters ripping each other apart, the Hulk and the mythical Wendigo. Now, look closely at this design in the game. You have the classic bright yellow and blue spandex, and those short, cat-like whiskers on the mask. That mask detail is huge, because back in 1974, John Romita Sr. drew him with small whiskers, and it wasn't until Dave Cockrum redesigned him in giant-size X-Men number 1 a year later that we got the giant winged flares everyone knows today. Even crazier trivia. Back when Len Wein wrote that first battle, he originally intended for the claws to be mechanical attachments built into Logan's gloves, not actual bones coming out of his hands. I've already seen people on Twitter and YouTube calling this suit goofy or saying it looks trash in realistic graphics, but that completely misses the point. This was the 1970s. It was loud, colorful, and wild. Seeing Insomniac recreate those exact vintage proportions with realistic heavy canvas, genuine leather stitching, and brass buckles is an absolute love letter to comic history. It's not supposed to look like modern tactical armor. It's a living tribute to the birth of a legend. From there, we take a massive dark turn into the suit number 2 in 1995, with one of the most legendary comic events ever created, the Age of Apocalypse on Earth 295. In this alternate timeline, Charles Xavier's son Legion travels back in time to kill Magneto, but Xavier throws himself in front of the psychic blast and dies before he ever founds the X-Men. Without Xavier around, the mutant tyrant Apocalypse conquers North America, turning the continent into a brutal wasteland of mutant supremacy. Magneto builds a desperate mutant resistance, and Logan, operating strictly as Weapon X alongside Jean Grey, is his most dangerous assassin. What makes this version of Logan so iconic is the personal tragedy behind him. During a suicide mission to rescue Jean Grey from Sinister's pens, Logan clashes in a deadly duel with Cyclops. Logan manages to slice out Cyclops' left eye, but Cyclops retaliates with a point-blank optic blast that completely disintegrates Logan's entire left hand. Look at how Insomniac handled this in-game. They didn't just give him the midnight blue suit and the crimson geometric shoulder stripes. They actually modeled the solid adamantium prosthetic cap clamped over his severed left wrist. In the comics, Logan could still pop his claws directly through that metal stump, and seeing that mechanical wrist in the game engine shows just how deep Insomniac went to honor this timeline. Alright guys, now let's move on to our third awesome suit. Heading into the early 2000s, we have the new leather suit, straight out of Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's revolutionary run on New X-Men number 114. Right after the smash hit 2000 live-action X-Men movie, Marvel wanted to move away from primary colored spandex and bring the mutants into the real world. This era kicks off with one of the most horrifying tragedies in mutant history. Cassandra Nova unleashes a fleet of wild sentinels and obliterates Genosha, murdering 16 million mutants in minutes. Logan becomes a frontline street soldier and a gritty mentor for the surviving students at the Xavier Institute. He rocks this heavy biker jacket with military dog tags around his neck, representing his search for his stolen past, and combat trousers. I swear, the second I unlock New Game Plus, I'm putting on this leather jacket and tearing through the streets of Madripoor like an unstoppable action movie protagonist. But there is another massive detail here that people need to pay attention to. Notice how his hair is slicked back into that distinct, messy biker style with heavy mutton chops, exactly how Frank Quitely drew him. A lot of people online were complaining that base Logan's hair looked a bit too normal in the trailers. But this is the exact same design philosophy Insomniac used with Peter and Miles in the Spider-Man games. They keep the main story model grounded and realistic for dramatic cutscenes, and then use alternate suits to deliver the exaggerated, iconic comic styles that hardcore fans want. It gives us the best of both worlds. Now let's dive into the suit number 4, the original custom designs. Starting with the Savage suit, created exclusively for this game by comic legend Adam Kubert. If you know your Wolverine history, Adam Kubert was the artist who defined Logan's darkest, most primal era during the 1990s. In the Fatal Attraction storyline, Magneto brutally rips the adamantium out of Logan's skeleton. Without the metal in his system, Logan's healing factor mutates out of control, causing his face to devolve and turning him into a wild, noseless berserker, fighting with pure bone claws and raw instinct. Kubert channeled all of that feral energy into this design. It takes the classic brown and tan color scheme from the 1980s and rebuilds it as matte black tactical plating. Look at the aggressive, swept-back horns on the cowl and those glowing crimson eye lenses. It makes Logan look like a relentless demon coming out of the shadows, and it fits the tone of this game perfectly. Finally, we have our 5th suit, the Night Hunt, crafted by Marvel superstar artist Iban Coello. If you're a Marvel comic reader, you already know why having Coello design a suit for this game is huge. He was the main penciler behind the post-apocalyptic saga Dark Ages, written by Tom Taylor. And if you look at how he drew the Wolverine family in that story, especially Laura Kinney taking up the Wolverine mantle and running alongside Gabby and Daken, you can see his absolute mastery over character design. In Dark Ages, when the entire world loses electricity, Coello redesigned heroes with tactical survival gear, sharp, aggressive silhouettes, armored pauldrons, and sleek cowl lines. He brought that exact same energy right here into the Night Hunt suit. Instead of bright colors, he designed Logan as an apex urban predator, engineered specifically for silent infiltration across the neon-lit criminal underworld of Madripoor. The suit features an ultra-sleek charcoal carbon fiber texture, reinforced impact-resistant ballistic plating, and sharp, bioluminescent electric blue piping running across the torso and gauntlets. This suit has Insomniac's signature DNA all over it. Just like the Advanced Suit 2.0 or the anti-Ock armor in Spider-Man, Insomniac loves taking high-tech materials and functional armor and wrapping them around classic comic shapes. Under the dark alleys and ray-tracing reflections of Madripoor, this suit is going to deliver some of the cleanest, most cinematic stealth takedowns in the entire game. When you look at this full lineup, from 1974 Canadian wilderness to modern original artwork, Insomniac is clearly proving that they understand every single era of Wolverine's legacy. But now, I want to pass it over to you. Which of these 5 suits are you equipping the second you jump into the game? Are you rocking the vintage 1974 yellow suit? Or are you roaming Madripoor in that new leather biker jacket? Drop your picks down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this comic breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe with notifications turned on, and I'll see you all across the RealPlay Dimensionverse.